Now on Denver 7 News, CU students are feeling uneasy after a student was attacked in her dorm room Wednesday night.
It's just really upsetting. I want to feel safe here.
We have the latest on the investigation.
Spam robo-text messages are blowing up our phones in record numbers. We're getting answers on what regulators are doing about it. And you may not realize how much of our drinking water comes from caves. We're going underground to see the test into just how safe that water is from the pollution above.
Plus, is there life on one of Jupiter's moons? Well, Colorado researchers might find out soon. The latest technology heading to deep space. Thank you for joining us for Denver 7 News at 4. I'm Micah Smith. First tonight, CU Boulder police continue to investigate a report of a sexual assault at the Williams Village North Residence Hall. Police say a student was assaulted in her dorm room by a college-age man Wednesday night. Denver 7's Bayan Wang joins us live at the campus now. Bayan, what is the sense you're getting from students there?
Well, as you can imagine, nearly all the female students we interviewed said they are scared, they are worried about their safety, they're being a lot more vigilant considering the circumstances of this case. As you mentioned, CU Boulder police said this incident was reported last night inside the Williams Village North Residence Hall. Police say a man knocked on a female student's door, then grabbed her by the neck when she answered the door and sexually assaulted her. All of this happening just 2 days after the official move-in day for incoming freshmen.
It's just really upsetting. I want to feel safe here. I really love the campus here and I love Boulder and I would never want to leave. But I feel like if that happened to me, I would leave immediately. It was really upsetting. We woke up to it this morning.
My dad made sure that I had friends, that I stayed in a group, so I'm just going to stay in a bigger group now and make sure that we're always together. And it's definitely scary that one girl who's in her dorm where you're supposed to be safe, this happened to her.
As of right now, the only description we have from of the suspect is a white college-age male with dirty blonde hair who is about 6 feet 1, and according to all the reports police have given us so far, there's no indication that the victim knew who the suspect was. We'll have a lot more coming up at 5. Back to you, Micah.
All right, Bayan, I know it's a very uneasy time for students there. Thank you. Students at CU or any other college campus can download a free safety app. It's called the Rave Guardian Mobile Safety App. Anytime you go somewhere, you can mark the start of your trip and your chosen contacts or guardians will get a text showing your location and how long the trip will take. The guardians will be notified when you arrive safely. Students can set friends or family members as guardians. Denver police are looking for a driver who hit and killed a pedestrian last night and kept going. This happened shortly before 10:45 on eastbound West Colfax Avenue before you get past Empower Field. Investigators believe the pedestrian was walking in the middle of the road when the driver hit them. The man we spoke with watched as drivers kept riding over and around the pedestrian. He waited for several minutes on hold with 911 before medics eventually arrived.
How could you possibly hit somebody and not call for help? I don't think most people are like that, but unfortunately the person who hit this person was.
Police want you to be on the lookout for a silver SUV or coupe with light to moderate front end damage to the front side. Call Metro Denver Crime Stoppers if you have any information. Governor Jared Polis has extended Colorado's COVID-19 disaster declaration for another 30 days. Now, this allows agencies to access state and federal funding for COVID-19 response. It also makes sure our healthcare system is properly staffed. And CDPHE will now have a dashboard for monkeypox cases in Colorado. It will include data at the state and county level, but demographic info will only be displayed on a summary basis at the state level. Statewide demographic data will include summary data on race, ethnicity, age, gender, and sexual orientation. At last check, there are 168 cases in the state.
As monkeypox cases rise, the White House is accelerating the vaccine distribution timeline. Nearly 2 million doses will be available for communities to order on Monday. The White House is also launching a new program to make the vaccine available at events with large LGBTQ crowds who the virus has disproportionately impacted. They also plan to improve access to the antiviral treatment known as TPOXX. In the U.S., it has only been approved to treat smallpox and is still undergoing clinical testing for monkeypox. With the same treatment showing promise, we wanted to know if the smallpox vaccine offered any protection against monkeypox.
We are seeing people who were vaccinated against smallpox in infancy or, when they were babies and now are getting monkeypox. So we are not relying on smallpox vaccination as protection.
Dr. Shira Doran is an infectious disease expert and has answered a lot of questions for us about COVID-19. So we also wanted to know if this school year will hold the same amount of concern for monkeypox.
Way less of a risk. I mean, this is not something I'm particularly worried about at all in terms of an impact on a typical school setting.
She says it has to do with the way monkeypox spreads. Compared to COVID, which can spread through particles in the air, monkeypox mostly requires skin-to-skin contact. Although it can be possible to catch the virus through objects like a toilet seat, she says it's highly unlikely. Certain things would also have to line up just right to catch it through fabrics.
Repeated sleeping on the same bed linens with your lesions teeming with virus will lead to so much virus on those bed linens. And so that becomes a high risk sort of surface.
There's also been talk about monkeypox falling under the category of sexually transmitted infection because of how it's been spreading. Dr. Doran says one big question still needs to be answered.
When your skin lesions resolve, could you still be transmitting the infection in your semen? We do need to clarify that.
In the future, she says it is possible for monkeypox to be divided up by how it's transmitted, like herpes. For now, she says the best way to protect yourself against monkeypox is by getting the vaccine. Well, we know that long COVID can cause things like brain fog, but a new study suggests this can happen from a normal COVID infection too. Researchers from Oxford University say recovering from COVID puts you at a higher risk for psychosis, dementia, and brain fog up to 2 years after recovery. Now that's compared to other respiratory illnesses. The study found other symptoms like anxiety and depression fell in line with other infections. Now these leveled off after a few months. New data from the CDC is proving the safety of the COVID vaccines for kids ages 5 to 11. No cases of heart inflammation were reported after a third dose of the Pfizer vaccine. Some kids did experience a rare side effect after the first dose. Other serious side effects were also very rare. The most common problem was an error in administration, which included the wrong dose size. But the CDC says in most cases there weren't any adverse health effects. The CDC is suggesting more education for vaccine providers to solve this. Prescription drug prices should be soon going down for millions of Americans who have Medicare. The changes you can expect starting next year.
Also coming up, we're getting new insight into the struggles our kids' teachers face, the harsh reality they're seeing when it comes to affording a place to live.